So the implementation of it allow for at 21 uko grown, unajua what you want, you know, you're at a better headspace than you are at 18.
I do not support the idea of marriage at all. I feel like that is a level of commitment that is too scary to go into.
Steph, as we write this, nimeona hiyo kizungu unapiga hapo before tufike hapa. But the last one, dude, I saved the day. You only got figure to.
Hello, my beautiful friends. I trust you are well. Welcome to another episode of Debate Club brought to you exclusively here on the SNS. Prior to beginning, we'd like to express our gratitude to Longonot Place for providing us with their serviced apartments as a shoot location. They are situated off Harithuku Road and are ideal for individuals who are seeking both long-term and short-term accommodation. For more information, feel free to check the description box down below. Debate Club is a very fun and engaging segment where I shall be reading to my guests motions with supporting context, to which on the count of 3, they will be revealing on their boards whether they propose or oppose of said motions. Speaking of guests joining us today, on my right, we have...
Hi guys, my name is Joan Melly. I am a digital content creator, digital marketer, and also a host at the Sandwich Podcast.
That's a lot to follow up on. Hey guys, the bad boy Owen here. Podcast at the Sandwich Podcast.
And on my left we have...
Okay. Hi everybody, my name is George Namita, CGH, PhD, MBS, EGH. I'm a graduate and I'm a host of the Sandwich Podcast. I've studied. I'm a learned young man.
Hi guys, my name is Tonio Kibbs. Nafanyanga tu vitu mob, yani radio presenter, Sandwich Podcast, content creator, YouTuber, everything. Guys call me Black D, but me Black Diamond. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we love to see it. So are we ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Just before you I think I just want to say, itaniwasha the whole episode.
Yeah.
How you introduce your episodes is crazy because that
it sounded so nice.
Have you written it?
Unakonga kwa kio like, hi guys, my name is Longonot Service Apartments, Harithuku Road. I'm like, damn.
We aspire.
We can only wish.
As we forget our sponsors.
You can go ahead.
The journalism degree jumped out. Thank you for reminding me.
You have a degree? Give me 5. No. You don't know. You don't know.
Wow. Okay. So speaking of sponsors, thank you for reminding me. This video is proudly brought to you by Smirnoff. This is for my lovely guest. Have you guys tried the pineapple punch?
This is actually my first time.
I have. Feel free to try.
I have.
Feel free to try.
My favorite.
Mom, I never drink yet now than force. Just they're forcing me to do this.
Ooh, lovely.
It's a nice cold one.
So
Feel free to try. They are available now at your nearest alcohol distributors and retail. Okay, so let's start. As we are enjoying our Smirnoff Ice.
Yes.
What do you guys think about the drinking culture in Nairobi? Do you think we have a problem, or are people just going too far? Or are people just okay? What do you guys think of drinking in Nairobi?
First of all, I take offense in that. Because one, I'm a guest in Nairobi at this point. I live and work in Kisumu, so I'm usually here kidogo. But the drinking culture in Nairobi, I think it's to each their own. That is my opinion. Each their own. Everyone has their own liking. Like you say, I can't say the drinking culture in Nairobi, everyone is doing the most, and you don't do the most. You'll have 1-2 cocktails, go home. Kids go crazy, go stupid. So it's just but at the end of it all, Nairobi, we are in the grand scheme of things, we drink a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of drinking going on in this country, because if you think about it, for example, looking out one day, you're in this club, we are in this club, we are in this club, and they're all full. Yeah. And you know, that's only maybe in Westlands. Ujangalia clubs ziko Tao, clubs ziko sijui Mombasa Road, Kiambu Road, Thika Road. Yeah. It encompasses the whole Nairobi and the metropolitan area, in the sense that guys are actually going crazy. But mimi si charge. In fact, if anything, na support juu msali make drink atatoa rent if I don't buy it. So
You're supporting
it's
a
only right
business.
that we support the businesses and their families. But I actually read somewhere that I'm supposed to stop drinking. So I stopped reading and then I said, let me now focus on supporting these people who are actually making this alcohol.
I read somewhere, so I stopped reading.
Yeah, they are toxic.
Okay.
What I'd say about it is, I think people usually downplay the effects of alcohol so much, and it's the most commonly abused drug.
Yeah.
And people don't notice how crazy it can get, and even addiction, how it is. So I'd say it's a problem, but we don't notice it's a problem because it's a culture which has been and will be there for a very long time. So people don't take it seriously. They only take the hard drugs as a huge problem, but then they really downplay the alcohol thing. Yeah, because also having a kid at 13, you guys are drinking quite early, right?
Me nilianza 20.
Dog.
That's
Oh
not
yeah, that
right.
was like 15 years ago. So everyone knows.
Yeah. So, I mean, the drinking culture in Kenya is quite worrying, but also I think you have to take care of yourself. It's an individual job. You have to take care of yourself. Yeah.
Okay, I think kuna measures zimewekwa za ku reduce watu overdo, of course, because hakuna mtu anakuja kijani kuambia yo hii kitu ni mbaya, acha kukunywa. Ukidai kunywa utakunywa, na kama utaki utaacha. So pia Nyamita alikuwa anasema about guys in clubs nini. You didn't talk about guys like us who stay at home and drink their drinks at home. So like kuna nyamechile tukikunywa maji nini. And then another thing ni pombe, man, like ni enjoyment. As at the end of the day, watu kunywa pombe mob about 20 liters na ukunywa maji 30 liters. We're good.
I think we're also looking at it from just Nairobi. Have you guys been to Shags and see how people drink there?
Yeah,
It's so
okay.
crazy.
Especially in Central.
Yeah. Even
Familia
our
asubuhi wako
sides,
drunk.
even our sides these days is getting crazy. I mean, the alcohol consumption on that other end is insane because now it's not even alcohol that is standardized by KEBS or anything. As in, it's
produce
just
chai.
crazy. Wakale wanalewa pia wakiproduce chai.
Because
Wana balance hiyo baridi.
generation ya sahi, people have started drinking at a very time yetu. Okay, yetu si nyinyi. Time yetu like drinks
Gen
ndo
B.
ukunywa hata like nimerealize sahi mse hata ako high school ashakunywa. Me by the personal nianza kukunywa pombe after high school.
Kibbs was sneaking in alcohol for us.
For other
in
guys.
Form 3. So I used to drink also. So.
No, I didn't miss kwa na kunywanga, unaona.
Kwanza
But
the
right
sachets.
now unapata msako class 8 amelewa mbaya.
Sachet. Kulikuwa na teaser sachets mko mnaget huko kwenu.
Unajua nilikuwa naishi Kisumu. Zilikuwa 10 bob 20 bob.
Manza podcast hapa.
Anyway, wait
For real, man.
Yeah.
I feel like Kenyans in general have always had a very vibrant partying scene. So that goes hand in hand with the liquor consumption. But since COVID, guys have been like overdoing it. Winter someone overdo. Sijui mbona nyinyi hamsemi.
Yeah.
Because clubs zuja like Monday to Monday, bro. Kavali, yani kula siku kuna msana host in a jar.
Just supporting businesses like this.
Yeah, like you said.
Agenda
Or
but
getting the
rent.
bag.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if it's a hangover still from COVID. Because, you know, COVID, especially with who was leading us that time, and I encourage mkate, so mnafuata nyayo.
Well, yeah, interesting.
So, let me read the supporting context and then I'll give out the motion. The question of raising the drinking age. So, the legal drinking age of Kenya is 18. So, the question of raising it or maintaining it revolves around finding effective solutions to combat the rise of alcohol abuse, and especially among the youth. Proposers argue in favor of raising, believe that increasing the legal drinking age perhaps to 21 years old would give young people more time to mature and make responsible decisions about alcohol consumption, thereby reducing impulsive and harmful behaviors that are associated with early exposure. On the other hand, opposers advocate for maintaining the current drinking age of 18 years old, asserting that addressing alcohol abuse requires a comprehensive approach beyond the legal restrictions. They emphasize the importance of education, awareness campaigns, enforcement of existing regulations to promote responsible alcohol consumption among young people. Presenting our motion. raising the age of drinking in Kenya from 18 years to 21 years. So you either oppose of the raising or propose.
Spelling ya nini? Your spelling.
No copy.
Don't copy me. Can you have two answers? Just asking for kids.
So do you propose or oppose? Oh.
Guys, keep
By the
the opposition
spelling
leader.
yangu ikiwa mbaya,
Okay.
you know what I meant.
All right.
Okay.
Are we
nitasoma
ready?
tu.
On the count of 3, 2, 1, reveal. Okay, so Joanne, you oppose, propose. So we have 3 opposers and 1 proposer. Okay.
I'm an outlier when it comes to wisdom. Let me spew it.
As
When
a
do we graduate?
learned individual.
I mean, they don't know. Just us who have green here who can get that. Yeah. This is why I propose. But I also agree with the opposing motion for implementation of the education
Awareness
campaigns and all that.
Oppose ama una oppose?
Now propose, but I'm saying why
Yes,
it is
as a
that.
politician, just give us an
Give us
answer.
the answer.
If you listen, I'm
Express
proposing,
yourself.
but I'm also explaining. I want to build up
You are
what
leading
we're going to say.
to.
So I propose, but I understand you fellas who oppose, right? So the thing is, why I propose is because, like you said, allowing that time for maturity.
Yeah.
Yes, you won't follow it. Personally, my first drink, I think I was 17. Actually turning 17, so 16, 17 there. And according to legal terms, it's supposed to be at 18.
Yeah.
Of course, won't follow. Even raising it to 21, people who are 18 will still find access to alcohol, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of it all, there's a way that you're curbing, and I wish even me at that point thinking I want to drink. There's a way you curb a certain, what's it called? A fraction of young people who are just, in as much as you can have access to it, kuna wale, they won't get access to it, or like they'll be scared of being caught. And they'll be, so the implementation of it allow for, at 21, uko grown, unajua what you want, you're at a better headspace than you are at 18. And why I propose is because that allows for even now, what's it called? Younger people to not copy the older people. Like you're saying now in places where people who are drunk by 8 a.m., Me as a 14-year-old, nikiamka nipate mza wangu ako drinks. Unajua niko tu, pia una look up to you 18.
Yeah.
Because already now, like for example in Kenya, getting an ID, you get it at 18.
Sorry.
Every young person at 15 is always like, I can't wait to get to 18, then I'll have my freedom. I can't wait to get to 18, then I'll have my freedom. When it's at 21, I think it's a longer period. Peer your excitement in a reduced. And
died
just
down.
small thing. I don't feel like I've really expressed myself well, but
I get the
when I get money, I
yeah.
come from. Yeah. So
Can I
that
counter?
that is my
Wait for
motion.
him to finish.
I'm
So
finished.
why at 21 am I more responsible to drink, but at 18 I can vote, I get my ID, like I'm legally a citizen now. So what's the distinction between that 18 and 21?
Because of
What's
the-
happening in those 3 years that I couldn't do then?
of the decisions that you make post drinking.
So I'm more
going to
responsible to
vote,
choose
you're
the president at 18,
100%
but I
because
can't drink at
because you're
21.
sober. Yeah.
I mean, I went to vote a bit tipsy.
These are things we're trying to change. This is exactly why we don't want these people drinking at 18. That's now look, you put us in trouble for the past 10 years. I know you voted him thrice. So
No, I feel like at 18, you have that personal responsibility also. So you should also know how to handle your liquor. Because at 18...
Question for
yeah.
you. Did you, dating back now and reflecting, did you and do you trust the decisions you made when you were 18?
I feel like the same stupid mistakes I was making at 18, I would still make them at 21.
Congrats.
Okay.
Mimi, decisions I made at 18, I'm not proud of 75% of them. So I would 100% would have rather felt a bit restricted for a bit more.
Yeah.
Because then that thing gets in your head, I'm 18, I'm my ID. You can get your ID, that's okay.
You had your first drink at 17.
16 times. 16.
When did you have your first drink?
My first drink.
Be honest, with some 20 or...
Okay, for content, ni after na, kuna content for content.
Oh, for content.
Yeah. okay, the first drink ilikuwa a shot, is that does count ama nililewa?
Yeah, that's
That's a
liquor.
drink.
Oh, form 2.
Okay.
Ukalewa from 2.5.
Sikulewa.
But you consumed
I
the
was
alcohol.
18. I had already turned 18. But you know, guys, I'm usually
Wait,
upright.
Joanne.
I'm not lying.
Hey.
I'm not lying.
Okay.
I never used to be
So
speaking
nyinyi
because in
mtu
whose
support any
house?
emotion yenu ya
I feel
kufa.
like if you have to raise the drinking age, you have to raise a lot of, you have to get your ID then at 21. You'll be allowed to vote at 21.
You get your idea at 18, but there's places you can't go until you're 25.
If you had money, you could, maybe you've always been able to go in here.
Anyway.
Look at you.
Let me tell you why I am opposing. I feel like making the age the center of the problem is not really helping with any situation, because again, you need to educate people on the effects of alcohol. So the core issue is people are misusing these drugs because they don't see it as a problem. Generally, alcohol, the way I said just before, people don't see alcohol as some sort of danger. They don't see it as a red flag. It's something which is used recreationally but can be abused and is abused. So if you focus on the problem, which is literally telling people alcohol abuse is the one abuse that people don't focus on, they usually ignore it, could start helping with that. I mean, we take, for sure, alcohol is a recreational thing. We do it just for fun and whatnot. So if you're going to kids and telling them, okay, let's say they do it this year, it will take some time before we adapt to that. So chances are, if you're told not to do something, people will rebel. And I feel like people will tend to now want to do this. Mnanikataza nitumie hii pombe kwa nini? Na ilikuwa 18. Mbona sasa mnataka nikunywe nikiwa 21? Iko na nini hiyo? Nisifai nikuwe nikikunywa saa hizi. But again, I also get what Nyamita was saying. I mean, I would not make the same mistakes I did when I was 18. I was wiser and smarter at 21, but also at 18 is now when we usually say that's when you're now becoming an adult. That's when you're learning some certain things. So the way I used to drink is at 18, not the same way I'm drinking right now. It's not the same. So I feel like you slowly grow up and change and adapt to things. So if you can make those mistakes earlier, when you grow up, you want to shun them away. Yeah. So I'd say, yeah, I oppose.
So me, the reason why I oppose is naona hii kitu nafai kuja mapema, ipite mapema, so that we get like better citizens huko mbele. Better presidents, better nini. Not right now, I mean like in other contexts. So like ndio maana like drink inafaa uzoeshwe mapema, uambiwe hii kitu iko hivi na taste hivi na inakaa hivi na effects ni hizi. So that let's make the mistakes early. You know, the older you get, the more the responsibility, the more the nini. Naweza kwa 21 iko na mtoi ndo niseme sasa ndo nianze ku drink. Unaona? Naweza kwa 21 ndo nimepata job ndo nianze drink. Na unajua ukianza hiki tu, everyone when you started drinking ndo ulikuwa na fuck up, ulikuwa na hapo unaweza kasi.
Yes.
Sawa, ulikuwa na fuck up. Ulikuwa na aribu like nikikumbuka vile nilikuwa nazima, vile nilikuwa na nini, ilikuwa hiyo time. So the reason why nafaa kubaki 18 baki because I am a better man. These days in fact pombe uko mbali tu. Spirit nini nikianza kunyolewa hizo ndo that's the closest nafika to alcohol. So like that's why so you know I'm a better man. Nini najua nafaa kukula kwanza, najua kufaa kunywa maji zaidi and all that. So that's why me not
to add on to what he's saying, also the other reason why people like, because we were literally talking about like our experiences because we are in the urban regions. Let's talk about the people in Ushago Sasa and whatnot. Why people are doing drugs like drinking rather is because they don't have anything better to do. So let's focus on those other problems. See, if we give them jobs, we get them things to do, things to keep them occupied. The way he has said, when you grow up, you have responsibilities. That means you really don't have the time to be drinking every time. So if you can start by solving those problems that people are facing down there, it'll help them stop, literally stay away from this thing, because if you're busy, you tend not to be thinking about these things. So if you can get job opportunities, youth things, just things to keep people busy in the shags and whatnot, you'll not find them drinking so much. It'll still be there, but not too much. Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially, it all comes down to personal responsibility.
Yeah.
May have changed my answer, so I'm kind of opposing, but you still get where I was coming from.
Yeah.
You may have trouble to explain.
What they used to say at
Also, last thing, I don't think we, even as a country, what you're saying about creating awareness and all those campaigns, I don't think our systems are yet right to be able to have like systems working. You know, we are praying for a country that systems are working well.
Sawa.
So zikisha work for
Wacha tukusonge.
change.
Okay.
And one last thing.
Yes.
And
Tutu
kids,
songe.
that's why if you're watching, sasa uone degree haisaidii sana. Clearly umeona is the only one saying the wrong things here. Sawa, tunaweza endelea.
Kuna book smart,
Book smart na kuna street smart.
It's okay. Okay. So we'll move to the next motion. I am presuming that none of us are married, at least on this panel.
Divorced.
Married.
Oh, east side we have girlfriends. You in account ama?
Married.
Oh, okay.
You are not married.
Divorced.
And how do you feel about marriage, especially within this generation? How do you feel about marriage? Do you want to get married?
Yes, I can't wait to get married. I actually am looking forward to getting married.
Hey, there's your camera.
I look forward to getting married. You know, actually, I think a dream for me, like I nothing to twins. Like I'm hoping I get married because the whole concept of life companionship to me is a beautiful thing. I don't want to be 40 and you know I'm going home like.
Why are you looking at me?
I don't want to be 40 and I'm going home. Not after, for example, I'm calling Kibs waifeka unaenda. Wote wako wanafaa hapo na nini. Like I picture being like peke yako, especially because maybe you're not even living with children, like literally living alone and like from 40 huko. Looks very miserable to me. So I also, the whole concept of having someone, loving someone, getting to be loved every day is a nice thing. But how our generation views it, you don't know. How our generation views it is like, now it's been delayed because if you look at maybe even our parents, a slightly older generation, like for example, me at my age, when my dad was my age, I was like 2 years old. So you know, these people started early, but saizi kunai, I'm still young. I want to, but me, I don't fully subscribe to it. I support it, I don't subscribe to it. Yeah. So I think it's also a matter of personal preference, but for me, as for me and my house, my dream is to get married.
Okay.
Period.
Wow.
As a girl, marriage in our generation is now looking much better to what I've seen with our parents and even grandparents, because now we have an opportunity to be just ourselves, not just the person who's holding down the house when the man is outside working. So I do look forward to it, but in terms of it's a partnership, we know what we are doing together and just building. I don't like being alone, so having a partner would be really good. As Nyamite is saying, I genuinely look forward to having a partner, but
Are you working towards it? But that's a different topic.
So you want to get married? I do want to get married, yeah. Also because of the wedding main character.
Let Owen be the last one.
If you can let Owen not speak.
I wish.
Should I say trigger warning?
Anyway, me not subscribe to marriage because first things, as in me nataka kuwa na home. Mimi nataka nikirudi mtaa sitaki kufeel yani narudi man nasikia mlango zinajibang peke yake na nini. Alafu another thing, me I want to have like kids na nikuwe na nataka kuwa na complete family. Na get. Alafu kids wangu watakuwa mabeshte zangu. Unaona? So nitakuwa like moja mbili nini. Alafu one of the things nasemanga in my life ni the scariest thing ni ku end up lonely in this world. Yeah. So me that's why nataka tu marriage yani unajua. Nikuwe na wase wangu yani that's why.
Looking for something you never got or something.
Why do all of you, when you say you want to get married, why is it that you're scared of being alone? Kwani uka peke yako utakufa ama?
Sikukuwa scared.
No, this guy is clearly scared of. So scared of being alone.
Yeah,
or
ending up alone.
You don't want to be alone.
Kwani
if you want to be alone,
you don't
it's
enjoy
okay.
your own company.
Not every day.
Buda una push 50 uko peke yako kijani unaangalia tu miti. Vita dedi. I'll die.
And we tell us.
I do not support the idea of marriage at all. I feel like that is a level of commitment that is too scary to go into. Ataka tumekuwa engaged for 10 years. Let's be engaged for another 15. We think about it still.
Talking stage.
Yeah. Because, first of all, you guys are seeing all the positives. I don't know why I'm viewing the negatives. Maybe in the marriages, nimeona, grow up.
True.
trauma.
But you guys are not
Depends
saying,
on
y'all
the
are
value.
not talking about the bad times. Like, what if you kosana with your partner? What divorce? You can't break up with mom to divorce, I think, hata naweza
Can I counter you in
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, when you're looking at the whole concept of fight, you don't get to divorce. You don't wake up one day, like, leo tumetoka kwa nyumba tukilaviana, alafu kesho asubuhi tunaamka tunasema tuna divorce. Divorce is not it's not an overnight thing. Even for breakups, it's not an overnight thing. So, just how you get there is hiyo kukosana kidogo. Jana kwanza niliona huku brush meno. Unajua vitu kama hizo zina build up. So I think pia unafaa kuangalia the negatives and how positively are you going to counter them? Like, are you willing to work them out together with your person so you stay together so you don't get to the point of divorce? That is where I think now you come in saying, I'm not willing
I don't want to feel that I don't want to be held that accountable by someone else. Like, I don't have to answer to you.
You're a free bird.
There's nothing to shake his hand about.
Are you seeing what I deal with?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, the debate centers around whether marriage is an outdated institution, with the younger generation choosing to opt out for various reasons. Those in favor of the motion argue that their evolving social norms is a focus on personal autonomy, financial independence, and changing views on relationships have led to a shift away from the traditional marriages. They point out alternative relationship models, rising divorce rates, and concerns about social justice as reasons to reconsider the whole institution of marriage. On the other hand, opponents argue that marriage still holds significance as a symbol of commitment and love, providing legal safeguards, stability for many families, and community recognition. They emphasize the longevity of married relationships and the cultural and religious value associated with marriage, and asserting that it continues to be a relevant and meaningful institution in the community. Presenting our motion, marriage is an outdated institution and should be reconsidered. Wow.
Sorry.
You're very
Okay.
passionate about this.
Very.
So marriage is an outdated institution and should be reconsidered.
Sorry.
Okay. On the count of 3, 2, 1, reveal. So we have 3 opposers, and I presume you're proposing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sawa.
Child, can I go first?
Yes.
There's a point that you made there, which said it's like established with something about coming together and.
Oh yes, a symbol of commitment and love, providing legal safeguards, stability for families, and community recognition.
Yeah. So especially that thing for stability and also financial combination. Let's just say independence. As in, being in a trigger warning. Being in a nuclear family where
Does he not like the one nuclear?
his father
Did the
went
dash.
for
He's still looking for milk.
yeah. So
I
being
mean,
in
I know
a
where he is.
Plot twist.
being in a family where the family dynamic works, like marriage situation works and everything. I have seen situations where my mom could not hold the weight by herself and my father could step in, and my father sometimes could not hold the weight by himself and my mom could step in and just make it work. So that's something I desire and look forward to. When I said when I'm looking forward to marriage, I'm looking forward to a partnership. The legal aspects of it. There's some things you cannot buy if you're just single, apparently, like in the US and whatnot. If you do not have a partner, you do not have someone who's constant in your life, you cannot be able to do some certain things in life.
Is that not that you don't have a husband? Do I need a wife to buy property?
Check into the laws for purchasing houses and whatnot in the US mostly. I'm talking about that because that's what I've seen, and it's usually an eyebrow raised when you want to say, let's say, buy a house worth a lot of money, and you're a woman. Men, you cannot understand what I'm saying, but yeah, for a woman. So there's a lot of security that also comes with having a partner and legal marriage situation. So for me it's all about the partnership that comes. Like you're coming here, you're bringing these resources, and I'm bringing this, and then when we put it together, it's something massive. So my thing is about the partnerships, the security that is brought in together as with marriage. I mean, I also truly believe in divorce. I mean, if something is not working out, it's okay for you to walk away from the situation. But also, I cannot disregard the companionship that comes with having your partner. I do not disregard the aspect of wanting to have a family and whatnot. But for me, my major things are just companionship and the security that comes with it, especially financial and in many aspects. Yeah.
Okay. Why haven't you mentioned love as one of the pros of marriage? Are you not gonna get married for love? Companionship.
But again, let me tell you, I will not, in case I do not find someone who I love genuinely, and I find someone who we will work very well within a partnership, for sure I will go for it.
So would that be like an open marriage?
Don't get into my bedroom. You're in my business.
If I explain why I'm opposing, I get into oversharing, but I support most of what John has said.
Overshare.
Trust me, akianza hii show itakuwa 2 hours.
Because overshare hata hii kwa cinemas kama bar. But of course I support, like me I said earlier, the whole concept of getting to love and getting to be loved, and the companionship and the friendship that comes with marriage, and also the many things that you can do together. Like, of course, peke yangu, I'm great. With someone, I'm greiter. So it's largely that's the reason. But anything else, Joanna said.
Graduates.
Education, bro.
Kwani mnafollow hizi page za relationship?
Tutuchaks.
We are called Justin LA boy.
Yeah, I think unless you guys have anything else.
So me reason oppose because like, man, I just want to see something I didn't see at home. Like, okay.
Oh.
Okay, see, but no, like me, ni venye nimeona vitu zikiharibika, zikarudi together nini, na sikuwa napenda vile vitu zikiharibika. But also, mainly, sasa, most importantly, I've seen a good marriage, I've seen a happy family, na nimeona vile wana move, na kuna do. Bro, mi natamani hiyo shit. Unajua, na kasi sitaipata, wacha mi ni make for my kids, you know. I mean me. So yeah, that's the only reason why mi nataka tu kukuwa na hiyo kitu. Ni feel, ni taste tu.
I propose the motion because I feel like there are very many modern interpretations of what marriage is, and like we can have a come we stay relationship. What's the problem with that? Where do you have to get the government involved that you have a piece of paper saying, oh, we belong to each other? Is it not like psychological?
Can I? So your problem is the commitment.
No, that's the answer I give. There are a lot of answers. Commitment, yes.
Bro, cooked. Like,
Therapy, nikupe number therapist.
Before the next SMS, you need to take through therapy. You answer and let out a lot of pain.
It's not pain, it's being realistic. Because I feel like, if I get married and then we have kids and then we want to divorce, I won't be able to divorce.
Why do you want to divorce?
Waking up to the same person like 30 years in a row.
The commitment is what is the problem.
Then it's a fear of commitment.
You could never cage a free bird.
Yeah, exactly.
You can never cage a free bird. Owen is a free bird.
Let me so.
Owen is a sick bird. Owen is a dead bird.
I also believe like when stuff is going too well, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. So come at it, it's only 30 years ago. Like, what is he a 31 more?
Okay,
but also I can say the environment that we grew up in really affects it really affects what we want. It really affects how we see life, and it makes us have different perspectives in life. I mean, again, trigger warning. Yamit and I come from a good family. Like this.
Our dads like us.
Our dads. Even gives. We pass the vibe check to our dad. So for Owen, I can see how he can see it being a problem. But I also don't want to, internalize your problems and try to judge you and whatnot.
said you got it
Yeah,
right.
and you're right.
The
Yeah,
boy
so
is
you mean, yeah, so many things affect our perspectives in life. So I generally get where he's coming from. It's because he's not experienced, not seen.
Yeah, and what if I love too hard?
A good marriage. So I can't fault him for that. We'll have to shift the blame to someone else. Yeah, but I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
So you have no prospects of getting married?
I actually think out of all of us, I'm gonna get married the first one. But
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
yeah.
but tana pia haraka sana.
Okay.
I was waiting for that part.
We're waiting for the other
Yeah.
shit to drop. Okay. How many of us consume reality TV, especially nowadays?
Turn me up.
That'll be my brother.
Enough said.
Yes, it's just us.
You propose.
I propose. Whatever you're saying,
That says
propose.
yes.
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 So reality TV
Yes.
like Love Island is really hot right now. People love
Yes. I'm the only one watching Love Island on this.
I just refuse this
No,
season.
I watched Love
You're watching Love
Island.
Island, this one?
Yes.
Give me 5, give me 5.
Damn.
Shout out my nigga Tyreek.
Shout out my girl with me. So we have our very own Real Housewives of Nairobi as we're housewives.
Yes.
Fans and stands.
Love.
Do you guys watch Housewives?
Asha.
Damn.
Maybe they watch on the low.
Maybe they just want to let us know.
What else do people watch?
Namita
Love and
does.
Hip Hop,
Kwenda.
What happened to Big Brother?
Big Brother, etc. So this is what is going to inspire what I'm going to be reading next.
Okay.
So the debate on whether reality TV causes more harm than good to society centers on the opposing viewpoints of its entertainment value and opportunities for talent discovery versus its perpetuation of harmful stereotypes, exploitation of participants, and the distortion of reality. Opponents argue that responsible viewers can discern between reality and entertainment, and that reality TV provides a platform for ordinary people to showcase their talents. On the other hand, proposers contend that it can lead to negative consequences such as increased aggression and unhealthy competition while exploiting participants and promoting superficial pursuits. Presenting our motion, reality TV causes more harm than good and presents a superficial, curated reflection of society.
Steph, as we write this, nimeona hiyo kizungu unapiga hapo before tufike hapa. But the last one did I save the day. Figure to save. But abanga nimelost sema nazoja to perpetuation.
Una get na context.
People like, hey, anamaliza saa ngapi because nisha lost. Perpetuation.
So, if you propose, you're saying that reality TV is causing more harm
No,
than
you can't joke.
Okay. Okay, so are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, on the count of 3, 2, 1, reveal. Okay.
No, my license life. Give me 5, give me 5.
I wanna propose that one because I'm gonna use one as an example. The one that has Krishon. It's called Bad Girl something.
what's his name?
Blueface.
Blueface, yeah.
Yeah, so I've watched that around when I have some house guests, when I insist kuyaka.
They insist.
Yeah.
Okay.
We watch
House
what they
guests.
want to watch. I feel like that show poisons the minds of so many impressionable young black women. Because now they feel like all they have to do to become famous is like fight on TV, be a baby mama to a famous rapper. Yeah, all I see are the negative stereotypes about it. I haven't seen one positive thing. I'm using that one show as an example. I don't know about the others.
Okay.
I haven't seen one positive thing she's put out in this world. Maybe saying she'll abort that kid. Because that kid is not supposed to come into this world to such parents.
Yeah,
I got it.
That's the only point you're proposing.
Yeah.
Kids,
So, me
That is the dumbass.
reason that propose
Okay.
me, when that happens, especially kama shoka hiyo, kuna wase kids in the kids too, society ukiwatch, the people who don't know that this is reality TV.
Okay.
When I was young, kuna vitu nilikuwa naona nasema wow, unajua cause ni inabamba. But then una realize kumbe ni mseto wako na tabia mbaya za kuwa wanaletwa kwa TV. So I see like those are social vices zinaletwa kwa TV zenye zinaonyesha the young people, zinaonyesha everyone else because TV the reason why hizi vitu zinakuja baadaye like later on after 10 p.m. The reason why on radio you can't the reason why on radio you can't say some things because nikiwa nini radio hivi asubuhi na napeleka mtoi chuo atasikia nimesema fuck unajua so hiyo ndo reason like tuna try to prevent in as much as we can do 100% of that tunafaa sisi wenyewe to put some measures so that kids cannot like get all this because they wouldn't know mtoi hawezi jua reality TV hawezi jua hata movies kuna zile unajuanga wa umsee wala yako hivi then later on una realize ni acting so that's why I propose.
I'm ready in now to talk about that specific point that he's talked about. These things are usually rated PG 18, 16 most of the time. So what were you as a child doing up at 10 p.m. watching these things?
Okay, John, let me answer you on that. Ushaiona hiyo lock yenye iko hivi alafu hapo katikati ni ka Pringles. Ka hizo ma snacks. Ndio imewekwa ndio inashikilia mlango. Hiyo ni kama uniweke kamba hapo uniambie don't jump, sinta jump. Like it's
I mean, I get it. But then the reason why these things have certain the PG rated and whatnot is because for sure it will affect kids in some certain way. But then these shows are not meant for kids entertainment. So when you bring it up as a problem, it's not meant for them. So what are they doing watching them? Is it a fault at the parents' end? Or because kids cannot be blamed for anything. I used to watch these shows when I was also young.
And you see?
What do you mean by that? No, again. So he said something about it brings a bad perspective like on how black women are and whatnot. That's when, and also influences them on how they become. It becomes a problem of identity. Do you know who you are? Is it something, because if you say you're doing this because you're so Christian doing it, that means you stand by it. That is the kind of person that you are. With and without their influence, you would still end up doing something like that.
But John, you cannot be something or dream of something you've never seen. Huwezi kuwa una dream kuwa pilot na ujuangi kuna wa pilot. Unaonanga tu ndege ujue kuna watu ndani.
But again, there's that thing that we have in our minds for knowing right and wrong. The only reason why I want to be a pilot because it's desirable. The only reason
seen someone fly.
I mean, I'm not denying that part, but I'm just saying it comes to identity, who you are as a person. Because if you agree with some certain things that they're doing there, and you cannot distinguish that this is entertainment,
that's a kid.
But you know nowadays celebrities and TVs actually make up a part of like some of these kids, their personalities.
It does. It's true. It really influences them in a way, but we cannot fully blame them. People who are getting their money up and they know for sure if I cause chaos in this thing, we're gonna have higher ratings. I'm gonna get more money. Again, kujijua kama unajijua vitu zingine hazifai zikuwe move to some certain area, to some certain things. So my reason for opposing, it's entertainment. We eat it up. We know that sometimes it's just pure banter. Yes, some things that they put out there influences us and makes us feel like, okay, if I do this, it can be better. The same way we usually blame the Kardashians for starting a wave of BBL and for women not accepting their bodies. But then also again, what society does after. I don't think we've had a problem with things like Real Housewives, the whole enterprise and whatnot. We've not had a problem with people saying that they've negatively affected people, except the part for being vile. But still, human beings are still vile despite that. So I don't think it's a negative effect. I just think you should know yourself, you should know your values, and just adapt to that. So kids, I don't know what you're doing watching PG-rated shows. Stay away from that.
Mimi naandika points kama mnaweza I have quite a number of things to say. I will run through them quickly. This is what educated people do. Number one, comparison is the thief of joy. When you watch something, uko hapo unaanza kujicompare to. Like for example, sasa mimi nikikaa home nianze kunifunga YouTube ya Stefano. Niseme, "Okay, akona kaunda suit ya green." Mbona mimi sina hizo mbona amevaa kaunda suit ya green? Hata mimi nataka kaunda suit ya green. Love sasa the fact that Sina already it into your personality. Yeah. That's the first thing. Yeah. Number two, parental control. You watching the thing has nothing to do with the producers of the show, right? The fact that your parents, the fact that your parents are not there to be there and govern what you're watching, like, kuna hiyo parental control. Like, what Are you aware of what your children are watching? Saizi mtoto wangu akienda kwa mwizi, siwezi enda ni blame CS or internal security nimwambie, mbona unaacha kukuwa na thieves huku nje na affect mtoto wangu amekuwa mwizi. So why the hell are we supposed to also blame TV for making our children have certain thoughts?
It's not that. It's not that dangerous.
Before you go
Don't do that.
It's not that. I mean, I think I'll let you guys finish.
Let him go off.
Even you spoke about radio, saying that in radio you can't go in the morning show and say this isn't that because you know there's the watershed period late at night. That is exactly why it is like that, because you're not supposed to expose children to this. If your child gets exposed to it, that is who you are. That is, in fact, you have no one to blame.
But yourself.
This is not recording the podcast. Would you want your children at the age of 8 to listen to a podcast? I highly doubt that.
I do.
But are we supposed to stop recording the podcast?
No.
I highly doubt
Can you
that
get
as
a
well.
definition on the age of children you're referring to? Leave alone the word
Depends.
children.
PG
Use the
18.
word. Use like women. Use guys from 16 to 17 or 15 to 17. Use that age.
Let's even use children from 10. At the end of the day, not all shows are the same, right? If you compare to that Christian show, you compare it to Love Island that me I am watching, you compare it to even Too Hot to Handle that is on Netflix, and whatever ratings they are, right? If you look at that show, it's just showing how they live. When you come to Love Island, they're just creating an environment for people to get to know each other, interact, and love each other. To Hot to Handle, they're being taught to love without getting into the physicality of the whole situation, right? All these things have different aspects. So huwezi sema all reality shows affect children in this way.
Yeah.
There's different reality shows. Even if us today as a podcast we started doing vlogs and we did say for example a vlog that it's a reality show, because if they show me I'm going to Kisumu, I come back, I record with you guys, and a child is like, even me I want to go work in Kisumu. Am I affecting that child the same way that a child who's watching Love Island has been affected? No. Absolutely not. So that is why it is it is not a situation for it's causing. It's everyone produces content that might or cause harm. Lastly,
music, Kwanzaa. Music is the one that it literally influenced most of us, and reality TV was never a topic of discussion when I was young. Music was the one. I would see Rihanna dressing like this. I'm like, ooh, queen, I want to be like you. So we can't say it's reality TV.
Separating reality TV from real life and what is it? And entertainment. It's literally on TV. It's to entertain you. This is what happened. Even in real life. So sengine unaweza na mtu amekuja hapa na Range Rover useme hata ananga pesa. Ajua ananga hata pesa ya kulipa bill, but sasa ikiko kwa show kwani watu watasema ai watu wanachocha. Let me finish. Namaliza in my last point. Even when you compare it to what I've heard or what I've read before I stopped reading. Even when you look at the adult film industry, it is romanticized. That's not how mechi haikwangi hivyo. Si kila siku mechi ni so smooth. Mnaweza kuwa mechi mnaanza kudedi, but sasa utasema ati kwa sababu niliona kwa TV juu niliona so and so amefanya hivi, hata sisi tunafaa kufanya hivyo. Ume clear the whole nini page, right? The hub watch everything. So unafanya kila kitu monoko.
Try.
At the end of it all, what I'm saying, I don't think reality shows should, if they affect you, it is your problem.
Yeah.
Then stop watching. Kama unaona Stephanie unasema niko jealous man, I wish ningekuwa na hiyo kaunda suit ya green. I wish ningeweza anzisha SNS yangu. I wish ningeweza kuwa na lamp. Wacha kuwatch Stephanie. Endo utafute pesa yako ununue lamp.
And also in the age of so many different aspects of entertainment, we have vlogs, as he said. There's so many things that it can influence you negatively. Kama unaona inakusumbua, stay away from it.
Start with our podcast. Nataka iwe hit home.
Yeah, honestly,
kama mnataka watoto wenu at 8 years old.
If I told my own mother not to listen to it, and she stays away from it because she knows it's a problem. Literally, it's not. I don't think.
Tutacha kurecord. Si kila msako kwa hiyo benefit.
I feel like you guys, when you're referencing childhoods, you're referencing our age of childhoods, guys. This shit is not the same nowadays. We were influenced by music, but believe you me, most of these kids, musicians are not their favorite people anymore.
Content creators are.
You brought up Blueface, isn't he a rapper?
Yeah, bro, Blueface is not famous because of Blueface. Blueface is famous because of his baby mama now. Krishan is more famous than him. A lot of these kids have access to internet and sites we never had access to. You go on the Shade Room right now. They're not gonna push the positive like reality TV shows you're saying. They're gonna post Jocelyn Hernandez fighting someone. Krishan, threatening to like jump off a building. So even the media is not pushing the positive shows you're seeing that are there.
Literally.
You can't. You give your teenager a phone. You're gonna tell him the pages to follow on social media.
Leo, for example,
he can't live in a bubble. He's not gonna live under a rock.
I get it. But I'm saying you also start to build up the sense of responsibility at a young age. Today, say for example, you're 16 years old. Your mom comes home anapata we kazi yako ni kuwatch vitu not so good, right? Me as a parent, am I going to leave you with that phone? Si lazima kuetot ni the whole aspect of building the sense of responsibility.
You go to school. Your schoolmates.
Bad behavior will be reported.
If that's who you are, you can't blame it on the producers of the show. You can't say stop making these shows because hata sisi kuna parents labda wameshika watoto wao watch sandwich podcast wanasema
why are you saying
but because
nataka ifi home. Yeah, sisi ni reality show. Sisi tunaenda ngoko tunaongelea reality ya life yetu.
But honestly, he's not like
but sikia Kenya nasema sikia Yamita shida ni bro kuna hii saying ya Waswahili wanasema like kiazi kimoja kikioza una get so tunaweza shika watoto wetu kwa hii room tuambie by them si watch na to make sure but kuna ule mtoto fulani wa Owen hivi ameenda akacheki moja mbili anashow sema zenye amjui yeye ndo kwanza the coolest so nakumbuka tukiwa young kuna ule mtu alikuwa anajua mambo mingi mnadai kumsikiza
yeye ndo anajua kila kitu I can tell you for sure we used to get in trouble. It's not like these kids are not monitored. They need to be monitored. I used to be the way you were saying, the person who would be hooking guys up with some certain things and stories. Exactly. But it also came down to my parents because when other kids were going home, of course, maybe they don't even care. They're going telling their parents, oh, mom, buy me this.
But they went home trying to be like you.
The thing is it came back home.
General community.
Community ni inaanza na
you were once a kid, your parents
anyway, listen
I'm getting somewhere.
The thing was,
did it specify children?
It definitely went back to my parents, and my parents were being questioned as to why are you letting Joanne do this, and then they had to put restrictions on what I had access to, so that generally helps us.
So wacha nifunge before endelee. Wacha tu nifunge. Najua kile unataka kusema na ujue
nataka nikuulize swali.
Everyone was once a kid. Hata msemzae ana influence mtoi. Msemtoi ata grow up influence mtoi na mtoi anapata from.
So even take away the argument from kids. Endelea na kupata kusema.
Let me bring it up. And hata ini completely aside from children. You're saying like hata the reality show can affect even an adult. So hata adult anaweza ku affected anaona ina affect negatively. But at the end of it all, my point is you're the one who chooses what and how you're going to live your life. Case in point, hapa hivi vile tumekuwa in this same video. Run it back director. Owen give us a very crazy opinion here about marriage. The three of us were opposing to it. He proposed. Because you hang out with Owen, story yako kiasi kimoja, does it mean because Owen does not subscribe to marriage, Owen is not scared of living alone at 50? Does it change who you are?
Tayari wanasema
pole creep in.
So are you going to stop hanging out with Owen?
What if in 10 years niache kubelieve Jumaze niliona mse ako na point. Niliget married nikasema shit.
That means you don't means
you're get what I'm saying? I'm very open-minded.
You're very
No, everyone is
being open-minded. Si kutokujijua.
Kwani ukikuwa na one thought you never change.
Hiyo ni kuwa fala. By the way, if you believe in one thing, hiyo ni kuwa fala.
Ni the same thing unasema. So Owen
why are you using?
Because I'm giving an example. Speak. Okay. Because Owen amesema hataki marriage, ndio. Owen get married for 10 years. Me personally, I wouldn't take it, just saying. But Owen get married for 10 years. Umeona life ya Owen bila marriage ni better. But at the same time, unaona life ya Joanne na marriage ni beautiful. So are you going to now follow? Do you get what I'm saying? There's always two sides of the spectrum. You can't just pick what you pick. You pick what you want to. Because me, if I see Owen is happy single and I see Joanne is happy married, I will say, I want to be married still because it worked for Joanne. It might not have worked for Owen, but because it worked for Joanne and that is what I want, that is what I'm going to follow. So it's all about the personal decision that you make.
So me kenye tu nasema is this, kufunga tu.
Okay.
Bro, the measure, as we wrap up, the measures zinaekwa are not enough for this shit to be out there. That's what I'm saying. As in, the effect it has compared to the entertainment inafaa kuleta. Man, na feel ni kama iko like, wow. Not using this drink, wacha nitumie drink ingine. Ipen inaandika fiti, tuweke kwa market. we never really tested and know tukajua like
Side
effects zake ni more. If it's more, we shouldn't be out there.
Then cancel all the music that talks about every other thing.
Exactly.
Sawa, who cares?
Can we say we are happy with the music like Shikiana puts out?
No. Like at the end of it all, it is all a matter of who you are as a person and you work on yourself.
Stefan kuna zingine ka saba.
Suno now so umeshindwa kucounter what we are saying.
No,
a bunch of
no
bozos.
time.
But let's continue.
Tuendelea kwa podcast, andika hiyo down.
Bunch of
We'll
bozos.
agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about cancel culture, because each and every one of us in capacity is a content creator, creative. You guys are podcasters, hosts. What do you guys think and feel when it comes to cancel culture?
Fuck cancel culture. The
Okay.
fuck are you canceling someone for?
Okay.
They made their art. Leave that be. Whatever they do as a person is up to them. Those sickos.
Okay. John?
I'm in the middle because there's some people who are worth to be
The
cancelled.
cancel-
Yeah,
the cancelling.
the cancellation and whatnot. I mean, our guy Kelly in jail, he cannot be excused.
Roberto.
Yeah.
We never listened to what was the song?
So cancel culture is it's funny to me. Find it so hilarious because there are people who strongly believe in it and then there are people who do not. I never know where to stand, but it also depends on the crime that you're being cancelled for. There's some people that just cancel them just because unani bo, and I choose to cancel you, and I find a way or two to influence people around me to cancel you. So I'm in the middle with that. I don't know, but when it comes to me, don't cancel me. Okay. And if you decide to cite,
Some artists should be cancelled because of bad music.
Nah, watch out.
I'll still get.
Yeah. Partially, I agree. Largely, I have no comment. Partially, I agree with Joan in the sense that you can in the middle. It depends like kitu medu. Like the guy R, William say na he's a sick man.
Yeah.
Sick, of course, he's cancelled. But when you look at, for example, my favorite artist in this world,
Chris Brown.
Okay.
Christopher Morris Brown.
That's your favorite artist.
That's my favorite artist.
You would tattoo his face
The-
all over.
Says him cancelled because one, I feel like, okay, it was a bad situation and everyone knows about it. But kama hata wase wengine mwenye alikuwa nini amemembrace, why are we also now sticking on it? We also can't, what's it called, like the more you push that story, for example sahi ni chune Joan asema in fact two boys anapiganga watu alafu Joan ni forgive kesho unaget Joan kesho ni forgive, then nyinyi mnashinda mkiongelela, so hata mnaput Joan in a bad place because sasa every day anakumbuka nikimchuna unaget.
You're making notes.
I'm sure trauma.
Yeah, so ina depend at the end of it all. Like
What's wrong with you?
kuna extreme cases that are for real da uko cancelled.
Hiyo ilikuwa extreme case. What do you mean?
That was a very extreme
Kila
case.
mtu ameteka account. Kuna ile extreme case the homie R amekataa kutake accountability. In fact, he's seeing no wrong in what he
Let's
did.
talk about Todd.
Y'all didn't watch his interview.
Sasa Sibridi ametake accountability. But Galriri amekama amesema forgiving you. But Galriri amepost video ya makeup yake Chris Brown akiplay in the background. Like kuna hiyo the whole ili happen.
Also, the question for when do we separate the art from the artist comes in between when it comes to cancel culture. Yeah.
So me cancel culture, mimi nasema ni ufala.
Okay.
Because kuna authorities. Mimi nimeshikwa na makarao before. Na ina work, system ina work. So if you ever
When
want
you're on the wrong.
If you ever want
When you're guilty, system ina work.
if something is bad, ni mbaya na watu wataona ni mbaya, that something will happen to you. If you're working for a certain company or organization, they'll see that, and you know, this guy has been wilding on the internet, let's do something about it, you know. But the fact that watu wamechukua sheria mikononi mwao wakasema wao msiwache tumeke chini, hiyo ndio maana si agree now, because na amekupea hiyo authority. Na get mimi nafanya mambo yangu, maybe juu kila mtu anakuanga right according to them
Moral authority.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But then
that's
also system ina favoringi watu.
sawa kama uko na pesa uko nayo.
So does that give you leeway to do the worst things possible?
Just because you know you're going to
Same
get
kipatia Owen do ati mwambie with money you can do anything. We're cooked.
Camera. Yo, what is going on?
Okay, let me read and then we
Hiyo
proceed.
kizungu ta nini?
Nitajua degree hapo, niishi hapa.
I am more than willing to expound. The debate on cancel culture and the reputation of creatives and celebrities is divided into two sides. So the proposing side argues that cancel culture helps to hold individuals accountable for their actions. It promotes a culture of responsibility and it brings attention to problematic behavior, thereby fostering a safer and more inclusive society. The opposing side, however, believes that cancel culture often leads to disproportionate consequences. It lacks due process and can be weaponized, leading to targeted harassment, especially online. Presenting our motion, cancel culture undermines the concept of redemption and or forgiveness and personal growth.
Could you please repeat?
Cancel culture undermines the concept of redemption and personal growth. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1, reveal. Okay, propose. Propose.
I mean, because of the question mark, I was like,
I propose?
yeah, can I go first?
Yes.
The reason why I'm saying propose is because there are people who are usually genuinely apologetic of the mistakes that they've done. And when they're trying to redeem themselves in certain situations, it's just like, people are like, nah, we don't want to hear any of
You're
that.
cancelled.
You're shut up. Your mouth is, no, they never want to hear anything. Yeah. So that's why I'm just like, give people the grace that you'd like to be extended to you, because if it was you in that situation, you would want people to be gracious to you and maybe forgive you and let you give you a second chance. The reason why I've put the question mark is because there's some things which should not be let to just pass. Someone like, for example, Tory right now, he'd only be apologetic now because he's in jail and he's now seen the consequences of his action. That is why he would be on the other end and be like, oh, now I want to.
Question.
Yeah.
Before you continue.
Oh.
You're saying consequences of his actions. What if they weren't his actions? But
He
you can
did
continue.
that shit. He did.
He did it. That's
I'm telling you
him.
right now.
He did it, yeah.
Okay.
So there's some people who will only be apologetic just because they got caught. There's also a story of Chrissy Teigen being caught bullying a 16-year-old girl. And the only reason why she apologized was just because she got caught. And it's not like she was apologetic for the things that she had said. It was to a point of trigger warning, suicide, telling her, yeah, go ahead, kill yourself, you know. That's crazy. And for an adult to be doing some things like that, where do we lie? Do you deserve a second chance? Do you not? Again, question mark.
What if the 16-year-old was an asshole?
This is
The reason we are saying-
Nish is my
the reason me niko pandaing na niko pandaing because mbambo
watermelon.
because this is what I'm saying. Cancel culture, yes, you might have done something wrong that when you're for real unafaa kuwa cancelled.
R. Kelly.
But at the end of the day, cancel culture is also very quick to cancel.
Yeah.
So unapata umekuwa cancelled, but you actually didn't deserve the cancelling.
cancellation.
So it's a thin line between fairness and injustice.
Yeah.
So
when they
that's-
say it lacks due process.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That I have
And also-
nothing more to say.
You see, there are people who have stands, and when you have the Hailey Bieber, Selena Gomez situation,
Yeah.
that was one of the episodes where I saw stands taking over the internet and swarming and attacking this person without even knowing exactly what was happening. So many people were in the process of being cancelled without us knowing the full details of the
Tristan and
situation.
Jody Woods.
Tristan and Jody Woods. I mean, Jordan was also on the wrong, but this girl was being saved, being put in such a high pedestal as much as she was on the wrong together with a guy. So
I was
cancel.
not on the wrong.
Who?
Continue.
Black men don't.
Black men never cheat.
Yeah, so it's such a weird position. I mean, you should use your brain to gauge where you stand. Oh, another one who has a lot of stands, and apparently we can never cancel her. I don't want to mention.
Hey, don't.
Yeah, you guys-
I know who you wanna say.
Nicki Minaj. Say it, she's married to a rapist.
Yes, again.
She's married to a registered sex
And
offender.
I mean, that is something
Like a pube ya shule.
to a point where she was bullying and asking to pay off the woman who was assaulted by her husband.
Yeah.
But still, the problem is her stance will be quick to cancel the other person who was actually harmed in the situation, but not actually hold this other person accountable. Now, that's why we have systems in place to help us with that. That's why I'm just like, it's a very iffy situation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me na propose because this is a ship that is so easy to jump on, especially if you don't like someone. Like most people are kuangi politically correct. Uzapata watu 5 out of 2000 ndo like wako like enyewe mi nafili, but hao wengine ni cause enyewe mse simpendangi, sipendi vile anabonga.
Spendi tena ba.
Alafu another thing pia, because me like keep quick ni me as a creative nime work my way up. Una get? Nime work my way up. So like hakuna venye utakuja mazee kuharibu everything nime build from the ground. Hivyo tu man. Like without even giving me a chance kuongea na labda nilifanya msee kitu for real. Akakuja kwa internet akasema mambo yake nini. Maybe I did that shit. Lakini sikuwahi pewa chance, hata nilifanya nika lose job, nika lose nini, nikaekwa hadi jela, nika lose everything. And that is something that ingekuwa later on ingekuwa like check it. But there is unajua, instead of to take everything away from me. Unajua. So yeah man, na mimi believe in the universe. Ukifanya mbaya na kurudia.
Bad karma always comes back. I propose because as Joanne said earlier, the lack of due process, weaponizing your followers, your social media influence. Yeah, that's all I can say on this. It's a bit sensitive. Walijaribu kunikansel wakashindwa.
On what grounds or context?
To be discussed
Kesho.
But also, you know, the other thing people also do is he's mentioned a really important point, like weaponizing the influence that you have on social media. People use it to their advantage always, especially when sometimes you find yourself in the wrong. You know, there's so much power in social media, and even speaking out and just being the first one to say, oh, by the way, nani alini, you know, said some shit about me. Maybe that's not even the whole process. That's not even the whole truth about the situation. But then you find someone else being on the other end of the whole situation. So I think people should actually take a step back and realize, okay, fine, we're cancelling this person, but for what reason? But some other crimes are just
because you find
right
like
off.
The petty cancellations, it's coming without any proof.
Yeah. Nothing to support it,
corroboration. So it's basically turning into a she said, he said.
Explain Kim's corroboration.
Hapo English Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Our final motion, and this was heavily inspired because I know sandwich is
moja mbili.
no.
What do you mean by that?
Sandwich is the ratio of women is 1:3.
Damn,
Okay.
finally
so
my turn.
This is for the men.
Yeah,
but
not
I
your
want
time.
to hear her especially.
Oh, this is our queen.
So what do you guys feel when you hear the word masculinity? Often it's toxic masculinity, but just masculinity in general. What does it mean to be masculine?
One, I feel like
Quick answer, sema tu moja.
Shout out SNS. Wanna delve into my knowledge that sinanga anywhere else to dispense. Any discussion that in fact,
more than welcome here.
please nataka nikuhire kwa podcast and pay you from my pocket. Ukwe our content planner. But
I can do it for sure.
what I think about
Let's discuss that.
masculinity. What I think about masculinity. Generally being a man, like what is it that a man is not what is it a man is supposed to do? Like as a man, unafa see
Unafaa ukue TikTok.
As a man, why are you sagging? As a like kuna so many things like as a man, why are you that's what I think about when I hear
Being a man is being a provider, being a protector.
what masculinity see
Masculinity, being a protector, being a provider, being moral, just being an upright guy all around.
Okay.
Ningesema ufala nyingine lakini nitaisema bado. So masculinity come from the muscles. Yoni ufala. Okay, anyway.
Let's keep on defending you guys.
Sorry guys. Iko na kick. So the thing is, mi na feel kuna society kuna vitu imetuwekea pia as men which are also termed as masculinity.
Yeah.
Zenye si masculinity. But mi na feel as a man kuna kama
for example
hiyo yangu tu ya TikTok, that's a very good example.
Mi najaribu kusema like
TikTok would not give you the ick.
It would, that's what I'm saying, that's one of the things that I
Unitumia TikTok so nitoke.
I mean,
I don't care about it, like I don't care about you.
So mi nasema community kuna vitu imesema like zina term as masculinity zenye hazifeel really as masculinity.
Ni gani yule uliambiwa ati wewe uko mwanaume ile school tembea na umbrella.
Kuna vitu kama
Not crying.
That's gay.
I'm just bro, mi nakuanga na sinuses na
That's some June. Is it June? That's some June stuff to cook around in an umbrella.
But
It's
kenye mi
really raining,
na
so
feel na masculinity ni the responsibility that comes with being a man. Like vitu tu mnajua zote you guys know. So mi wote tuna feel masculinity. Kwangu responsibility na masculinity zinaenda hand in hand.
Okay.
Useme jumini mwanaume naweza kukain, jumini mwanaume hiyo sani no like kuna ka responsibility na come with being a man. That's how I see it. Yeah.
Joanne, what does masculinity look like for you?
I'd go to the core traditional things that we used to hear, a man being a provider, like, you know, just the same thing, protector, the same things that Owen mentioned. But society has really flipped it around and made us want different things from men, per se. So, I think that's what I can say for now.
Yeah.
Let's listen to the motion, then I think I can add on top. Yeah.
Before we even proceed to the motion, for the men on panel, do you consider do you think you are a vulnerable person? What is your relationship with vulnerability?
It depends on the situation I need to be vulnerable with. Am I vulnerable in the podcast? Hell no.
No.
Will I be
When you're
vulnerable?
drunk. When you're drunk.
No. that
Even
is
then,
kids.
no.
I don't think I will open up my vulnerability even under the influence. Am I going to be vulnerable in my relationship to explain how I feel or how certain situations make me feel? Yes. With my parents, yes, I can be vulnerable. Ukinibono amenyoa hapo na mna bad. But in certain friendships, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mi niko very vulnerable. Hata hii bia kidogo hii. Karibu niwaambie mambo yangu. I almost told you my things. Unajua moja mbili. So like yeah, mi niko very vulnerable. Unajua. Even to the kind of stature unaona hapo. I present you, but like when you come to know me, actually big shout out unajua moja wangu, unajua mambo yangu.
I also feel that I'm very vulnerable.
Too vulnerable.
Yeah, he actually is. It really is.
Wow.
I wear my heart on my sleeve, which I hate because I don't like being emotional. That's one of the things society hates about masculinity. You can't be an emotional man. Even though I hate that in myself.
So you are in touch with your emotions.
Yeah,
That's
too
why
much.
he would get married the first one and be divorced the first one again. It's very, very
Okay.
vulnerable. Yeah.
So the debate centers on whether
I was about
society...
to ask you, why didn't you ask me?
This was for the men's really.
But have you had a voice as a male? That is a male.
John sounds so nice.
That is a male.
She's the queen.
Yeah.
The debate centering on whether societal expectations of masculinity have a significant impact on men's mental health, particularly concerning their vulnerability.
Ngoja, please, run it back.
Hey, man.
Okay.
Unaona si mimi peke yangu. So guys,
Me, I was absent-minded. Me, I didn't hear.
hata watu wamegraduate.
Run it back for kids.
Book smart.
Acha
Okay.
kunichuna. Acha kunishika.
Respect his boundaries.
Okay. The debate centering on whether societal expectations of masculinity have a significant impact on men's mental health and particularly concerning their vulnerability. So proponents argue that traditional notions of masculinity discourage men from emotional expression, which leads to stress and mental health issues. They advocate for promoting a more inclusive understanding of masculinity that allows men to express themselves openly. Opponents may claim that mental health issues are complex and they are not solely linked to the societal expectations, and they emphasize on individual responsibility in seeking support. Nevertheless, the focus remains on exploring how societal norms around masculinity continue to affect men's mental well-being, particularly in relation to their vulnerability. So the motion is a final motion. The societal expectations of masculinity contribute to mental health issues in men. So do you think that they contribute, or do you think that, what's the word? It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not monolithic where it is your personal responsibility to seek mental support outside of the expectations. But you can also be on the fence about it.
Damn.
On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Points?
Unaandika barua.
A letter.
A love letter.
It's a love letter to
Okay.
mom.
Are we ready?
Mommy.
3, 2, 1, reveal. So you
Wow.
propose. We have a full house of proposers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm proposing with a caveat.
Oh, same. I mean, I
Mine
have
is a-
mine.
Mine is a propose with a star there. I mean, as much as it's healthy to go talk about your problems and shit, like go see a therapist, are you just gonna go talk to them without coming up with a solution?
That's therapy is not like that though.
Then why am I going there?
Therapy is about finding probable solutions to your problems.
Hapana. I can do that on my own. I can smoke and be like, I need to do
Masculinity
this.
is wrong.
Ndo hii hapa.
Toxic.
I'm not toxic.
But have you been to a therapy session?
I have once, and it was so scary.
How old are you?
This is like
23.
3 years ago, so it's like 22.
Were the same problems that you're facing still bothering you up to now?
The same problems have bothered me since I was like 8.
Therapy is looking real.
It's looking real viable
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
After this.
How many sessions did you
I
go for?
went for one.
Exactly.
Nikaona huyu jamaa ananijua sana.
So let me ask you a question, Owen, because when I asked if you are vulnerable, you said you are a man who wears his hat, on his sleeves. You are very in touch with your emotions. So where do you draw the line between expressing those emotions to a therapist?
I feel like just expressing emotions without like coming up with a solution to what you're facing. Like, yeah, you can be sad, but what am I gonna do about that sadness? Am I gonna wallow in that sadness, cry about it, talk about it? Am I gonna do something?
Can I give that answer for you, Stephanie? He
Yes,
does it with the ladies.
Okay.
Yeah, the women in my life are my therapists.
Yes. And I don't know if it
Don't
will be
agree.
bashing you. I don't know if it will be bashing you or anything. But women desire men who are vulnerable. So him speaking openly about his problems, no, he knows that is gonna get him something.
The love
I don't-
language is trauma dumping.
Literally. So he trauma dumps
Trauma
and,
dumping and love dumping go hand in hand.
I mean,
Love
yeah,
bombing.
the women say like, oh my God, yes, he's vulnerable with me. They don't necessarily have to give him solutions, but then him is just be like, yeah, this is happening. They're like, oh, where you come? So it works to his benefit.
The TikTok sound for the whole
When something traumatic happens, like the whole will love this. That's exactly what he does. I mean, it works to his benefit, but then it does not help with the situation. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I mean, when I'm going through something deep, say, come talk to you guys, we find a solution. See?
yeah,
Is
no.
Not
Jane
you.
Ngelesha.
No, you're not the best
Yeah.
person to approach.
I'm actually the best. Who's a Joan?
I feel like if you'd laugh at me once, see podcasting.
Huyu msee ako na kicheko mbaya kwanza.
Hiyo nawachekeleanga.
Hivyo vinacheka.
Hola.
Damn.
Sasa wako damaged, wako beyond help. Help yangu
Hiyo
is
ni
no
help though. Asha ni help
But-
mara kadhaa.
Okay, me, my dini is very
Keep it
simple.
short,
Like,
mwanasiasa.
Hapana, ongea.
mambo yangu ni kidogo though, but wacha kunigusa. No, it's literally how society has put up the perfect ideal man in our heads. So you find yourself building yourself to be this man. But it changes. Like Owen is saying, sometimes you're moving to a girl, your character changes to befit her.
Oh,
Her wants.
Yeah.
Saizi, for example, nikitaka kukatia unaniambia, because I like a man who takes matatus. Mi hakuna matatu sitapanda in Nairobi. Unajua, like you're about it.
Wadikonda.
So And then even now,
the uniform.
even now they also prefer men who are manly. Like, when you're a man, unamka asubuhi, unaenda kufend for yourself, unamka. So ina put pressure. So unajua huwezi kuwa tuna. Of course, a girl doesn't want to be with the bum. So even if she is with the bum, she's not going to be with the bum forever. So your situation ina affect mentally. Kama we ni bum na hauna hiyo capacity ya kuacha kuwa a bum, it gets to you, you know, because you're like, man, guy, I can't be this guy.
But some niggas are too comfortable being bums.
And there's also girls who are comfortable being bums. That's why
I'll take care of you, baby. It's okay.
So you would be with a bum girl?
Ndakupanga, usijali.
A damn fool. So, but yeah, I think those are my 1.5 cents. I don't have much to say.
Okay. So the reason why I propose is, man, nimeona, especially now you see from our parents' generation kurudi nyuma. Those guys wako wanajua mambo ya mental health imeanza juzi. Hata mimi therapist sijaenda, unajua, like uko sawa buda, why are you crying? Yeah. So unalia nini? So like unapata like hata mimi iliniingia kiasi, but later on mimi niko very open minded. Ukiniambia moja mbili I have to think about it. So utapata that mazee huko nje, especially hizo age, kuna ma walking dead. Someone like alidedi kitambo anapiga tu kazi, provide, apige hivi, but ni juu amezoea as a man, kazi yako ni hiyo.
Most likely he's married also, si ndio?
Probably pia married. Akiingia kijani kwanza ana spend more time in the bar than kwa
This is I think why she brought up the concept of vulnerability. Are you vulnerable to tell your wife that and you're finished inside?
Yeah. No, financially.
Not financially. No. Financially una provide. Pesa iko. But emotionally uko cooked.
Kitu alikuwa nasema ni mambo ya mental health na vulnerability na masculinity.
Yes, and I'm saying if you're dead inside, your mental health one is in the pit. So you're vulnerable enough to
but
talk
it's
about it.
The reason why you are that way is because you could not talk to anyone because you've been accustomed to.
That is why I'm saying, are you vulnerable enough to be in a position where you're
not
accustomed?
actually in consensus.
Yeah, Kenya nakwambia ni you are not because umeambiwa na wasee cheki. Umeambiwa mtaani like umezoea.
Right, but is there a level of vulnerability you'll allow yourself to get with your wife? Like you can tell us some stuff, but some unaona yote ni
but stuff that affect the family. Ile by the way niliona nani akilia juzi.
So what's the point of being married then? What's the point of that?
No, exactly.
That's my point.
Think about it this way.
Sorry, I want to stop with that so that we don't go off on a tangent of specifically to just married men.
Yeah.
Even just you as an individual. Are you vulnerable with Nyamita? Or Joanne,
with your friends,
so that
whatever.
it's not a conversation just.
I've been
vulnerable.
I've been vulnerable. I've cried in front of my friends once.
Me too.
Yeah.
Where was I in a dating like that? No, boys.
I mean, I tell
what a comical view. I never have the time of my life.
I tell all my friends I love them. So is that like being vulnerable, Ama?
It doesn't just end there.
Yeah.
Like,
now
see, tunamwaga feelings.
Be a man, Meliani.
Can I
But anyway,
state my points? You see. So I proposed because society has been impacting the way situations are. And I put a question mark because also times are changing. Sisi kama Gen Z, we are really understanding the concept of taking care of your mental health, being in charge of your happiness and whatnot. But one of the problems that we have is we have millennial parents. Gen what? Why?
Generation X.
Gen X and boomers.
And boomers, yes, we have Gen X and boomers as parents. These people believed that you cannot be happy. You cannot be sad with money. You can only, like, if everything else is working out in your life, there's nothing else that should be bringing you sadness. So having those kind of parents who do not believe even in the concept of therapy and just counseling and whatnot has made it very difficult for us to just grasp the whole idea around therapy and just having that influence. There's a time I was going through, I think could have been my worst phase of depression. And when I mentioned it passingly, some of my relatives, I don't want to even mention names because we're good now, they laughed about it. I mean, I'm good now. No, they made it seem like such a small issue. To them it's not massive. When like we're providing for you, you have school, you have this and this. Then what the hell is making you sad? And I could not find a way to express what was going on because if you cannot understand that you're supposed to be someone who's very close to me, then what the hell is this? And even sometimes passingly, even Juicy, I questioned my mama, but she said something very crazy. I even had to hang up the phone. I was like, Mom, I've been blocking my mother, canceling. And my mom is, by now she just knows. Like, our relationship is very, like, I'm very honest with her. So she said something which was very disrespectful to people who go through mental issues. And I was like, Mom, your child.
Yeah.
I'm people. Whatever you're talking about, and though you're saying it so passively and just, she really didn't have regards to whatever people go through. And I questioned her about it, and I was like, what if it was me? I was like, not even me. What if it was Kevin? Because, the last ones loved me. And like, what if it was Kevin in this situation? And you know what? And she was like, oh shit. Now she had to take a step back. And I see it so many times happening, especially with men. Even the cases of, again, trigger warning, suicide that I've seen and have been close to proximity to me, the most are men. Unfortunately, we even lost someone close to my friend group last year through that. And the thing was, he was very vocal about it. There was just not enough support and help through it.
Yeah.
Another thing for the reason why I'm proposing is society has brought about this thing for high value men. And as a man, you should not. And who said this is how life is supposed to be? I mean, there's no formula to anything. Sasa unaambiwa as a man hufai kukilia, alafu you're going to choke down your tears because of
But I can't have TikTok.
These are things I'm joking about. You see, there's some things that I'm joking about.
Why? But TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah, like in TikTok. I mean, you see, there's some certain things that have just impacted our thoughts, our train of thoughts and whatnot. So you're being told as a man you're not supposed to be crying in public. Why? How is that anyone's fault? Didn't Jesus cry in front of people? I mean, what the hell? Why is this a problem?
But you see where he ended up.
Bro, that's not the reason. But that's not the reason. But that's not the point. Yeah, so you can see there's so many situations where men are told how they should be acting, and they're not regarding the feelings and the things that come about with that kind of instruction that is brought about.
Can I add something to that a bit?
Yeah.
I feel like that happens so much nowadays. The rise of guys like trigger warning, annotate, like Kevin Samuels, that thing you're saying for
high value men, yeah.
I feel it's because nowadays in society, not a lot of men grow up with the guidance they should. So that's why they flock to listen to some of the wrong advice they're given over there.
Yeah, it could be true, by the way. Yeah, I mean, again, so yeah, the thing for high value men don't cry public, high value men do this, high value men only grind. They do not have time for tears, they don't have time for their friends. Kazi ni kuchapa, kazi na kurudi home. Like there's nothing else. And then also, how can I say, joining your worth to the amount of money that you bring in within any situation that you're in, maybe relationship, family and whatnot. Like you'd have no worth besides the amount of money you bring. That also comes about with the thing for men being providers.
That's a bit true. Yeah.
I mean, so like right now, I can say because of society and also because of the things that I know I want, I cannot be with a man who does not provide. And what if maybe if I was in a situation where I was with a man who's providing, and then all of a sudden circumstances and situations happen, and then he can no longer provide, I'd be like, damn. There'll just be that thing for, okay, so you're a man, you cannot provide. Even with our fathers, we can see at home, they literally equate their worth to just being providers. They don't even bother having relationships with the kids because all they know is work na home. And that happens in so many families in African homes. Because dada kiingia from job, kila mtu ameenda kwa room. Like he has no connection with anyone. And sometimes if you look back and if you just ask them or even go have conversations with them, they're like, home, there's nothing much happening. As I think you were saying, like, can you tell your wife about the problem that you're having? Can you just say, I am sad? But again, let her go home, you're doing everything right, but then deep down you're not happy because maybe situations and just life, you're not even happy with the work in the place of work. Another thing is the shame that comes with therapy. We've tried telling Owen so many times.
Shame, sitakuwa funny. Watatoa humor.
Content.
There's so much shame with having to just go for therapy. It does not mean you're weak. It doesn't diminish any of your strengths or anything. It just makes you human. I mean, you need help. And there are people who generally worked for that. Even therapists have therapies for themselves because, it's not possible for you to be just thugging and raw dogging life. like that. It makes no sense. And if you have the ability to, you have the resources to get help, it makes no sense for you to just be sitting down with your problems and just suffering alone. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, society has really...
Impressed leo. Kama mnakuwa mnaweza hawa.
history ya mental health inakwanga such a touchy topic for me.
Karibu 200 episodes kwa podcast.
Yeah. So
yeah.
if you can just go the extra mile, don't make anyone make you feel bad for having emotions, for just being human. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. And also your friends, me making Nyamita umembo unachekanga when people apparently
Nyamita cannot be a good friend.
Tell me, I've seen the other side. He has.
So,
I mean, to your boys and whatnot, because boys ile story, you want to make jokes out of serious situations. I've seen it so many times with my male friends, and sometimes you're just like, Unaduni, this guy is actually talking to us about something so deep, so serious. Why are we not taking it seriously? And then it hurts me so much when you see someone amefika their last resort, wanting suicide, and that's when now you want to act and say and just act like it's you've always seen, okay. But again, I know sometimes it's not easy to help someone get out of that situation, but also just don't be brushing it off when people say they're going through problems.
So how could we... So I think, to close off, what I'm getting is we need to be able to redefine or give a more inclusive understanding of what masculinity looks like for men to be able to express themselves. So how would that support look like? And are men, because I'm not one, so I cannot speak for any, but are you in the confines of your male friendships? How does vulnerability look like? Because it's interesting when I have this conversation, and we were having this conversation the other day with crew, and it was interesting how for women, and we tend to vent and speak about our problems.
Literally.
For guys, you think more solution-oriented, even though in our defense, I think sometimes we already know the solution, we just needed an outlet and just someone to listen. So in the confines of your spaces, like the friendship between the three of you guys, when it comes to okay, maybe not the three of you guys, but outside, what does vulnerability? Because from what I'm getting, vulnerability and just redefining what masculinity looks like.
It's as simple as I hope everyone knows that these people are joking. The most serious problem. I'm not the villain here. I'm the superhero because. But she does sound zingine useless. But anyway.
Wow, you see how it trivializes.
Let me explain how it's useless. Okay. How can Owen complain that one of his girlfriends is in coast? He has 3 others with him at the moment.
That's an issue. You see what he's doing.
What's the biggest? That's the biggest problem with
Sema yako. Sema mambo yako. Some of us does.
It's okay.
So this episode, the Sunday podcast is cancelled. I quit. But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's as simple as for real just knowing who you're talking to. For example, I can't come and talk to you, Stephanie, and the last time I tried to, ulini brush off. If I right now want to talk to Kibbs, I know Kibbs is maybe, not Kibbs, no, someone else.
Let's use another
example. Let's use my friend Ken, right? My homie Ken, I know, Nazam show, any joke, we laugh about it. But kuna ile nye, niko mbaya, niko bad, need. Then we can have an honest and open discussion from there, where I can call him out, or I can call him out, or he can call me out and be like, "You're here because, Jonga Sangina, also you're in a problem, but you need to hear a truth that no one wants to tell you."
Yeah.
So you also need to have a sense of support where maybe you have someone who can tell you, follow unafanya. In fact, if anything, you're the one on the wrong. Half the time, for example, in a dilemma, you feel like as a human, I feel like sometimes self-victimization is always the go-to. But at the end of it all, when you look at it nicely, you're actually the villain.
Yeah.
So also just knowing, it's about awareness.
Yeah.
Knowing who you can talk to, when you can talk to, how you can talk to, and being ready to accept the unacceptable. Being ready for the hard truths or hard comments.
Okay.
So, me and nimeandika notes, by the way. So, ushaona kitu ya his problem is cheating. Alafu me and my friends tunafanya something crazy. So men wakiwa pamoja, me sasa especially kwa friends wangu na everything. We never talk about serious things. Tunakuanga vibes, because tunaelewana, energy yetu iko right na nini. But we are in positions to know that umse yuko fiti. unajua niko like by the ama kitu i happen alafu nianze kuona venye mse najua venye ukua you know hiyo ku have fun hivyo mse anakuanga na portray that just one character when you think about it when you guys are having fun but then akiwa out of character unajua kuna something off either ko too happy ama kuna venye tu leo yuko na akiwa too happy ko like hey bro kwani kwenye kumeendaje vitu ziko like hey kwani unajua atakwambia by the way nilibuy one time ama by the ama akiwa low atakwambia yeah stuff haiko you get to go in that position to know umse yuko fiti. So that's number 1. Number 2, you remember last time when I was in your episode nilikuwa nasema you don't need friends. The reason I was saying that is ule msa alikuwa nasema my friends are this, my friends are that. Nikasema kama uko hivyo then uhitaji friends, enda grind upige wera, uta-find friends along the way. So like the thing is reason friends wako ni because wanaweza jua like mambo yako, wanaweza jua if you're okay, if you're not, wanaweza jua nini. So yeah, like me mambo yangu tu, what I'm going to finish with is like being vulnerable with the right people who may not even be about giving me an advice, may not even be about solving my issue, maybe just kurab tu of your energy yako to like ile man tulie, mambo iko fiti nini, what's the problem, uambie kwa hivi na hivi, ambia usijali iko hivi yani it's not haifai kuchukuliwa like a big deal hadi tuitisha meeting tuseme wow by the way twende hata nini retreat go Dallas Texas yeah, you know like it doesn't have to be something big, but if it's big tutaiongelea tu kidogo alafu tu hii, so you because you're the only one who can find solutions for yourself, hakuna mtu atakuja kuambia venye uta move. So that's just my thing.
I feel like men in our respective friend groups and spaces need to foster an environment free of judgment and shame to be able to talk about the things that are affecting you, whether like big or small. A safe space where kuambia mtu bila kucheka na mita. Yeah, like being able to like not si tunafaa kulia saa zote, but that one time umeachilia machozi moja buda ni mbaya. Yeah, just being able to talk to your friends, them listening, giving you solutions, not necessarily solutions, but advice on how you can handle some of these problems. Because, you know, see, they say, Ati, a problem half shared
is a problem half solved.
That's so true, though. Yeah.
Okay. How are we feeling? And is there any motion that has struck you personally?
Marriage.
Yeah, marriage.
Okay.
Hiyo na feel mefungua kidonda.
But great, me I think all the emotions I've had.
Great.
Nime open up thoughts, sikujua naweza open up, but niko
Uko sawa, unakaa shaking, uko sawa.
I have a lot to reminisce and introspect after living here.
Yeah. Okay. It's been a great session. I really loved it. That mental health one has really struck.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been good. I loved it. It was a great episode. Thank you.
Hiyo English yako before ufike kwa the main point. Thank God for the last year proposal. Hiyo
Rudi shule.
No, shule kwa sababu kuna point nilikuwa nasikia alafu napigwa chenga hivi niko tuko wapi introspective you know like so yeah like so nime have fun. But we joke too guys. Come on man. I speak.
You have really great like topics. I feel unafaa kutugawia zingine za podcast.
Gawa hata umeshatumia.
Haiwezi kuwa kila siku. So what do you guys think of relationship?
Yeah.
Oh no, I can share with you.
Yeah,
I have
definitely.
like a bank.
Wow.
Hey.
Thank you.
Or you can hire me as your, content writer. Yeah.
Is it okay if you pay you with like exposure?
No.
You get
Tatu per month. 4 basi mwisho.
It's a great time.
So we'll go from here the same way we went right left. You tell us where we can find you on social media. Yeah.
Okay. Do I just?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you can find me at John Melly on all social media platforms. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Now that I'm about to say it, my names on social media sound a bit juvenile. Bad Boy Owen on Instagram. Pipe the Don One on Twitter.
Okay.
And Owen Jugun everywhere else.
All right.
My username is George Namita April. I think, yeah. But also follow us on Instagram at The Sandwich Podcast.
Yeah.
Twitter at The Sandwich Pod 1. And then our YouTube channel is is what?
Sandwich
Sandwich
Podcast
Podcast KE. Same as our TikTok channel. Sandwich Podcast KE. Going to be doing more dances. I'm great for dancing. We will be on it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, so Tonya Kids everywhere. Mimi mtanipata tu. I also listen to Homeboys Radio 103.5. Kama uwezi enda kwa internet to search to HBR Radio itakuletea. So listen every morning 6 to 10 a.m. Kwa hapo show inaitwa Power Up. Also, lastly, mali mnaweza nipata pia ni my girlfriend's house.
Shut up, man.
Shout out to her.
Big shout out to my boo.
Thank you for having us, baby. This was
Had
really
a great
fun.
time.
I'm glad you did. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Debate Club. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure you like the video, leave a comment down below, and join the family. That's it from us, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye. I do a sandwich.